is your major malfunction, Private Pile? Dude, you know what? I was just in there. Something popped up with Victoria. I don't know why everybody's got to be so fucking dirty. And so this thing comes up and it's talking. And down at the bottom, I'm just standing there. And I look down at the bottom, and one of those things that comes across at the bottom. I looked. And just before it disappeared, to become something else, I saw something about an NAAAP lawyer. I don't know what it was. And I was like, huh? Ah, there it is again. You hear that fucking little, is an acronym. It's not an abbreviation. NAACP. And I said, ah. And I looked at her immediately. I said, you see that? You see that? You see that? It was just starting to fade away as I was thinking. And she's like, what? And she turned around and it was something else. She's like, I don't know what you're doing. I said, yeah, the NAACP. And she says, I'm not seeing it. And I went on to talk about, I am being tempted. I told her that. I said, I'm being tempted. You have no idea how tempted I am. For years I've thought about this, and I knew that I just really shouldn't say it. And I told her, I said, I'm being tempted. Because I always thought the NAACP they're for the African Americans. And we have gone from being colored people to African Americans. And so there's a progress. We get to choose our own names. We get to tell everybody else what our label is. And if they come up with one, we'll fucking take it. And it doesn't work for them anymore. Oh, why do you think so many people are okay with self-deprecating humor? If you can get to the joke before they can, then they know it's not a surprise to anybody anymore. They give up the fucking joke. Now it's yours. You may be your own joke, but you belong to yourself. I said, they're tempting me. The NAACP is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And it's a fine organization that's done many fine things. But now that we've become African American, or as I say, like, not a Polish American, but an American Polak, I think they should go. That's the next line. Go from being African American to saying American African. This is what makes us citizens. We are Americans. We are African by descent. We are Polish by descent. We are Ethiopians. Look at these long arms and long, oh, I guess I have to lift it a lot higher. I just put it on the desk. And these long legs. This is a phenome of East African DNA, the Ethiopians, the cradle of civilization. I am an African. Doesn't matter what color I am an American African. We are all related. It just may be that the white people are assholes because they got chased off for being freaks and they got out in the fucking woods somewhere and they were fucking starving and cold. They're in Germany or some shit. Holy fuck, that was a long walk. And they're like, I don't care what I do if I die, as long as the last thing I do before I die is get back at those motherfuckers for running me off into the wilderness. It may be that's how it started. So that's just a simple, it's the cycle of life. I think Elton John sings about it. Circle of life, whatever the fuck it is. It doesn't make it any more acceptable. What it means is that we need to keep moving in a different direction, which we could be fucking off by the tree taking a pee right now. Why go back to the path? Fucking start a new one. It could be that we're pretty much close to becoming one, if we allow it. That isn't the point at all. It is part of it. It's what they call a premise for one's legal, day in court. I don't mean anything terrible by this. I just see it. And that's what you have to accept. Some people see things in a different way. And sometimes people hold these things for like 20 years, at least. From the first time they saw it, they try their best. They say, no, you can't say that. And I'm saying, or I'm tempted. And I had no intention of doing it. By me talking about being tempted, I spoke from the left. I made it sound all the better. And so I'm sitting there going, no, I'm not, but I'm tempted. And she's like, what? I said, The NAAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, a fine organization. As time passes and we've gone from being colored people to African Americans on the path to American African, the name of the association itself should change, because to say colored people is probably only acceptable in the South or in parts of northern Michigan. So we have to say the National Association for the Advancement of African American People. But you can't do that, because if you take it down into it's what do you call it, acronym, or it's fucking initials, I suppose is what it is. It's certainly not an abbreviation. If you take it to its initials, for read along with me. National Association for the Advancement of African American, soon to be American African people. We leave the soon to be out. I'm just throwing that in. If you break it down to its initials, it's not any longer NAACP. I figured out why they haven't changed the name, because it would become Ed. N. Who's Ed? Eddie. Worked with him in San Jose. It's become N quadruple AP. N quadruple AP. N quadruple AP. It's taken the sound that we're trying to get rid of with colored people, which is a slur, a slang. It's beyond us. It's behind us. And it's making it sound even worse, like N quadruple AP, like someone's swinging through the trees, and it's like, they can't possibly change the name. So I've come to understand it finally. And she said, "You're not gonna do that, are you?" And I said, "I don't see a better time in my life that I could."